want to go around and say hi to this amazing cast of players who are joining me tonight in telling this wonderful tale. I don't know where everyone is on the overlay, even though I made them, so I'm just going to go by what I see on my screen here. First of all, we have Jared. Hello.
Hello, I'm Jared. I'll be playing Frisnell the Unrepentant Drunk. I'm from Nightfall Games, and I'm very much looking forward to becoming a Twitch star from this. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, next around here we have Bree.
Hi, I'm Bree. I'm from the Fumble Folks, and I am playing, what did I call it? Nash. Nash. The rat-faced footpad. Yeah.
Awesome. And then next we have Homero. How you doing?
Hey, hello, people. My name is Homero. I'm a comic writer with work published by Heavy Metal Magazine and co-founder of Reroll. And tonight I'm playing Archibald Rudeness, which is a graveyard scumbag. And the only thing that I know for tonight is there's a goose on the loose. And that's scary, people. That's very scary.
It definitely will be, hopefully. And last but not least, Lloyd.
Hi everyone, I'm Lloyd. I'll be playing Colby, the hired job. I'm here to do a job, and I'm hoping to do it right, and it should be nice and easy, and it shouldn't cause any problems.
Sweet. Well then, without further ado, let's take this band of demon dogs and throw them into the wonderful, but really not quite wonderful, hamlet of the Gash. It's not a great place to be, really. It's a bit shit. It smells pretty bad. And you get the sense as you begin to cross over the little bridge on the stream outside of this hamlet that immediately people maybe do not want you here, because all of you are a little bit obvious that you are perhaps not just mere mortals, but degenerates that have been brought back from the dead. Do folks want to go around and maybe describe a little bit about their character, who they are, and what it is that the local townsfolk are focusing on that sets you apart from everybody else? Let's go the other way around. Lloyd.
Hi, I am playing as Colby, the hired job. He carries a short sword and tries to pretend he owns the place, but he keeps his, do we have hats?
You can have a hat if you
Can
want
we
a
have
hat.
hats? He keeps his hat down to cover this part of his face, but every time there is any kind of fighting or strife, multiple eyes light up underneath the hat, and he has to keep his head down so people can't see it. That's what mostly terrifies people, that they can see that he has many glowing mirrored eyes.
So at least for Colby right now, the fact that you have a hat pulled almost down over your face is probably the thing making people look at you with suspicion. How about for Archibald? As you're crossing over this bridge into this terrible little hamlet, what is it that the townsfolk are noticing about you and not taking very well?
Honestly, I do not know, because I'm a pretty regular people. I mean, I have gray skin. I'm very skinny with big eyes. And I don't know, sometimes when I felt desperate, I start to speak in other languages, which sometimes I do not know what that it means. Así que no sé qué es lo que podrían estar nerviosos de todo lo que estoy diciendo. But anyway, I think everything will be just fine. Just, I have to be myself, and that will be enough.
Awesome. And Nash, as you cross over this bridge with the rest of your group, why don't you tell us a little bit about the distinguishing feature that the townsfolk begin to focus in on?
Yeah, so I toyed with the idea of hiding it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So Nash is sort of like, I'm going to say she's 6 foot tall. She's got like totally bald head, and like basically her features is that like she's got teeth made of rusty nails, and it's kind of like made like this weird rusty mark around her mouth as well.
Oh,
Nash, Nash, Nash.
that's where the name comes from.
That's where the name comes from.
And Frisnell, what is it that the townsfolk are giving you the stink eye for?
Well, apart from the fact I look like someone who slept in a gutter, which is not surprising because I did actually sleep in a gutter. Where else are you going to sleep after you've had an awful night on too much beer? Apart from that, I've got a couple of little sprouting horns that come out the top of my head there, like little D4s, and a slight surly disposition. But you know what you're going to do. I need beer to get that off me.
So you make your way into this little hamlet, having to walk down these small little streets as all the townsfolk, as you're walking past them, are sneering and whispering and generally being just a little bit unpleasant about your presence here. Somebody takes it upon themselves to shout, "We don't want any more of your lot causing trouble around here," off from a corner somewhere, but then quickly disappears before they can meet anybody's wrath. You have probably not long come back from dealing with something for your demon baron, the person who holds control over your mortal soul for bringing you back from the dead. But now you haven't got to do anything for him yet. It's a good chance to get some rest and relaxation, or it would be if it weren't the other townsfolk coming towards you, who would be carrying pitchforks if they could afford them. But you're judging by the state of this little hamlet that even that's a little bit of a stretch for them, as this small mob begins to form at the other end of the street, making its way down, declaring that you must leave.
Are they between me and the chance of a pint?
You can see behind that mob, on either side of the street, there's these old rickety wooden buildings that are half falling apart. The roof in one of them has got the shale missing, but you can see the signs for two pubs. One is the Mill Inn, and it's got a really badly hand-drawn, like it was made by somebody who'd never actually seen a mill in their life, but some approximation of it. And the other one is called the Shib's Flag. It doesn't have any pretty illustrations. Apparently they didn't bother with that, but a couple of the letters are missing from the sign. But this mob now, as they begin to approach towards you angrily, fists in the air in lieu of pitchforks and torches, are now between you and a really nice, warm beer.
I feel the beer isn't worth the fight.
I disagree 100%.
Oh dear.
Could we disagree somewhere else where there isn't a crowd trying to kill us?
Should we go and disagree in the pub?
We just got here. I mean, why do we just have to leave? I mean, it's very early.
It's a bit
Yeah.
rude, isn't it?
Alright, let's go speak to the people.
Oh wait,
Maybe we can just
speaking to
talk them into giving us some space.
I was just gonna walk right through, not gonna lie.
I'm
know
rolling
what?
my sleeves up.
I'm already putting my hat
Oi,
down.
oi.
Going, oh, here we go. Alright. Some of
There's
us
beer
can't
to be
stand
had. I mean,
it.
come on. It's been. I'm covered in what looks like, I don't know, some sort of grave shit that I've been dragging around with me for the last half hour after having dealt with whatever it was the Baron had us doing last time. All I need now is, well, I was going to say a warm bath and a nice relaxing sit by the fire and a drink, but the reality is I just need a drink. So
Let's
I'll
go!
proceed- Yeah, let's walk gently towards them.
You start walking gently towards them, and we
Oi,
see-
oi!
as
That
you
was the
call out-
opposite of gentle.
What's everyone else doing as Frisnell just begins rolling up the sleeves, taking the walk right down the middle of the main street of this little hamlet?
Same. It's gonna go.
Come on, Nash. Let's do it.
They will get out my way.
Nash following up. What's Archibald doing, and what is Colby doing here? Watching Nash and Frisnell just seemingly very ready for definitely not a fight.
I am gonna be about 3 paces behind both of them because if they catch the hits, I can sneak past.
Yeah, I think I'm following Nash because I don't know, it's something of beauty and I want to be there because I don't know, probably it's a dynamo, something of changing the social situation. So I'm gonna be there. That's my life's call.
Okay, so the three of you, Archibald, Nash, and Frisnell, march up to meet this mob. It's not a particularly big mob. You get the feeling that there's really not that many people in this hamlet for them to form any kind of large pitchfork party here. With Colby, you kind of staying in the back a little bit, seeing what's going on. And the gruff-looking gentleman who hasn't shaved in probably a good few weeks, growing a really patchy beard with a bald head,
Nice.
is rolling up his sleeves too as he approaches, probably up to you, Frisnell, if you're at the front.
Right.
Just kind of stands there with his arms crossed and just...
I think it's time for a bit of diplomacy. This is This is Macy. Come on.
Well,
Are you just going straight in for a punch?
No, I'm going to let him have the first try, whatever. I can take it.
Kind of stands there and sneers at all of you. No. Turn around and go back to whatever pit you came out of. Okay, we've already had enough madness going on with that absolute wazzock of a fucking sorcerer, wizard. I don't know what he thinks he is. Summoning all sorts of bullshit up out of the bogs and the fields. Turn around, go back the way you came.
Oi,
Came
mate,
from that
are you
way.
refusing money? Are you refusing my money? We've got money, we'll pay. How many people pay for the
How do I
drinks
know
these
that
days?
you're not some of the freaks that thing's been summoning?
Maybe
No,
we
Freaks
are.
pay for drinks?
You guys
Some
pay
of them do.
for drinks?
Does it matter?
Starts
I'm
rolling
quite
up the
happy to
sleeves
pay for a
again.
drink.
Oh,
can I just walk around him? Can I just?
You can start walking around him. A couple of
Yeah,
other people kind of tried to sidestep you.
yeah. Just gonna
Just playing a
Just gonna-
little.
keep walking and be like, just in an actual crowd where they're not mobs. You're just like,
As you start trying to walk around, one of these little hamlet peasants, as you kind of like sidestep past, because you're much bigger than all of them, just kind of swings at you and like manages to like catch you in the torso. It doesn't really do much to you. But he throws the first punch, and then when it has no effect, kind of just looks up at you, stands there, waiting.
I'll smile with my teeth.
Go ahead.
of
Go ahead
nails.
and make me a presence roll. So you're going to
Okay.
roll a d20 and then add or subtract your presence to it.
We might be doing it. It's not quite, but oh, cool. That's a 3.
That's a 3.
It's not quite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got it,
Yeah,
right? That's what we needed, right? Right? Right?
You
Oh.
grin, the teeth, your big rusty nails for teeth, the more on your face. And he kind of looks slightly terrified, but then something behind his eyes, probably some foolish drunkenness, tells him that no, he can do this. And he goes in to properly swing for you. Is there anything anyone does watching this build up?
Yes, I shout, it's time for a shoeing, and start getting ready to
Okay, in which
jump
case then,
into.
I
I'm
think
gonna
we should-
hold my hat even lower down and be like, alright, let's get this on. I can't even see where I'm punching, but screw it.
anyone who wants to get involved, well, let's have everybody, let's roll a d6 here and find out who gets to go first in this initiative. And it is you folks. So if everyone can roll me a d6 and add your agility, please.
Ooh,
Oh,
I got
Christ.
8.
2.
I
8.
got a 6, but it's blank on
I got
my
a 2.
I'm going
Four
to change dice
minus
because that's
2.
blank.
So hold on.
4.
Lloyd got an 8. Nash,
2.
2. Frisnell,
4.
4. And Archibald,
A 2 as well.
2 as well. Okay. Amazing. So, at the very top here is you, Colby. Right at the back, you've been able to see the situation, watching it break as the crowd eventually has enough.
I drop kick the person punching Nash.
Oh, nice.
Because
Okay.
I have a running start. I'm like, we're gonna get involved. I can't take my hat off because I'm trying to keep my eyes hidden. So I'm just gonna be like, oh, what the heck? And just like jump and drop kick them before they can swing.
So coming steaming past all of you and Nash, coming right up to you, you suddenly see just Colby making a run for it, a kick in the air. Go ahead and make me that roll, please, Lloyd. This is going to be using your strength.
All right, I rolled a 12. I don't know what that means.
12. That is enough. You run up, and Nash suddenly in front of your face is a foot, and the man who was about to swing for you a second time in his drunken foolishness just goes flying through a few of the crowd, knocking people over as he just tumbles into the dust on the cobbles of this Hamlet street.
And I look over and I'd be like, I didn't start it. They swung first. Just letting you know.
Still desperately holding your hat down there.
Still holding my hat, like, not my fault.
Jared.
Yes.
You are up next in this. What is Frisnell doing? You've just seen Colby come past and kick one man, knocking over several others into the dirt.
I feel inspired by his magnificence and decide to give the guy in front of me a good kicking.
He's already got like his fists up ready.
Yeah, well, that's not
Colby
going to stop it, is it?
No,
yeah, good.
You going in with the melee, or have you got another weapon you'd like to?
No, no point in wasting my sword. I do have a very nice dagger. It's very, very nice. It's a bit not that nice, but it looks nice.
Maybe a bit stolen, but
bit. But it's no, I'm not going to. No, this isn't a stabbing time. This is just a shoeing time. So, 8.
8.
No, it's not enough.
You go in for the swing, kind of squaring up, and as you try to dodge past it, he just goes in for a hit instead, and so you end up just it's a really awkward like crossing paths of nobody really hitting anybody.
Bugger.
Who is next? Nash, it is now your turn. You've just seen these guys go flying past you. Colby's appeared from the back of the group. Frisnell is now in fisticuffs with the kind of leader of this mob.
Do all the other people in the crowd, they seem to be coming at us as well?
They're now kind of like doing that split off where they're all trying to pick the targets. There is no coordination here whatsoever. This is made up of like the local grocer, a handful of farmhands, probably whoever that this kind of ringleader could rally up with the promise of something disappointing.
I feel like I want to keep walking. Like, I don't have time for this. You're boring me. I'm gonna go.
Are you just trying to like beeline it to the pub? I love that.
I'm like,
I love that.
And then
why don't you go ahead and make me an agility roll then?
Oh no.
As you try to like sidestep all of these people who are now like running in to take a swing, as you're just trying to weave between them to get behind this group and towards the pub.
And is this which one am I rolling again?
This is going to be a D20, adding your agility.
Well. Yeah. Nice. 3. Again.
Dash, you try to duck and weave between these people. You know when you get into a large crowd and you think you're getting past people, but actually you're just kind of getting caught up in more of them. And it's even more frustrating because you're tall enough to see over this crowd, but you still can't seem to find your way past them. And then, last but not least, as you're now like stuck between a handful of farmhand peasants who are all kind of just shoving at you, trying to keep you from leaving this little pocket in the street, Archibald, we have you.
Yeah, I turn my face red and I tell the people, I yell to the people, listen to me, people. I try to be nice. I try to be polite. But all the things that you know, it's about violence. It's about pain. You want violence? You want pain? I will show you a world of pain. And I start to punch myself in the face.
Okay. Are you trying to like intimidate them into like backing down, or?
You have to understand that Archibald, it's a chaos that probably that's his intention, but we can't be sure about that.
Okay. I want you to go ahead and roll presence for me then. So D20
Absolutely.
plus your presence.
Sure. Oh my gosh, 19.
19. All of you hear this as Archibald calls this out, and there's like that brief moment where the crowd all just stops and looks at Archibald's face, the skin changing color and turning red as he cries out that he will show them a world of pain, and just begins punching himself in the face repeatedly, the nose becoming bloodied. I want you to roll toughness for me, please, Archibald, as well, to see if you actually injure yourself or not.
Probably I will. I mean, 14?
14. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna roll. You take 4 points of damage just from the repeated, like, your nose is, you've busted your own nose. It's now bleeding all out down your front.
Been there before. I mean,
you're already starting to feel a bit dizzy now at this
Friday,
point,
you know.
repeatedness. But you watch as the crowd just kind of, the Frisnell, the man who's doing fisticuffs with you, just kind of looks, and they're all just watching in absolute horror at Archibald just going to town on himself. A couple of the peasants towards the back of the group, Nash, you spot, just start disappearing between the buildings. A few of the ones that have been kicked into the dust are either being dragged off by somebody who's capable of walking, or seem to have conveniently rolled out of the way for you. But right now, nobody's really putting up a fight as they all just watch Archibald do this to himself.
Yo, Archibald, are you alright?
Well,
Is this part of a plan? Did I miss something?
I think the honourable and heroic thing to do.
I have no idea.
I think the honourable and heroic thing to do would be to let the peasants deal with Archibald. So instead, I'm going to punch them in the face.
Okay.
And if they're distracted, I'm gonna keep on walking.
I'm going to keep on punching.
Okay, what is Colby doing? Because Colby is next in the initiative.
I'm not sure what's happening over there, but if I can get to the pub and still get a drink, that's probably a good idea. I might sneak off with Nash.
Okay, so Nash and Colby, go ahead and roll me some agility tests as you just try to mosey on past this horrific display.
I had an 18.
Okay.
And 16.
16. You manage, as the rest of the crowd are now just turning in horror, and there's not even really, like, even the man up at you, Frisnell, is kind of only like half paying attention, as he just seems terrified by Archibald's behavior. And you can just see at the edge of your periphery, Nash and Colby just sidestepping round this very quickly deserting crowd of people towards the pub.
Give him the thumbs up, and then twat the guy.
Go for it. Go ahead and make me a melee test.
17.
17. Do you want to describe what this looks like? As he's like still got the fists up, and he's kind of doing a like double take between you.
Well, as I wave over to give my thumbs up to Colby and Nash, after that I just turn around and just windmill. None of that Jackie Chan bullshit. Just windmill him. I mean, there's ways of making this look fancy, and there's ways of making this look skilled. None of that's happening here. It's just pummels. There you go.
You just pummel this man. He's not even really expecting it anymore, just horrified by Archibald, until he's like cowering on the floor, hands over his face, and just whimpering like a small dog. At that, the rest of the crowd, funny enough, disperses as a few people are just like, no, we're not doing this. No, enough weirdos. Maybe it's one of those freaks that man's been summoning. They just start to disperse. You hear a couple of businesses, the doors lock, the windows go down, and Frisnell and Archibald, you're left in a fairly empty street now, as it seems the populace have been well and truly frightened off.
Well,
So you're saying I won my fight?
You won your fight.
In that case, I'll stick the boot in one more time, spit on him, and wander toward the pub.
You hear like a...
Listen to me. I win all fights.
Archibald, by the time that like you can wipe the blood from your face that's pouring from your nose, you realize that there is now no longer a crowd.
Actually, I do feel better right now. I mean, it was something cathartic.
You manage it just in time to see Frisnell like boot this poor peasant in the stomach as he just lays there and accepts his fate. But you now have a choice. You have the Windmill Inn with its badly drawn depiction of a windmill on the sign, or you have what at least you can see on the sign of the letters that remain is the ship's flag. Neither one looks particularly amazing, but you have two options. They are opposite each other on the street, and it just looking at them like this looks passive aggressive.
I'm kind of thirsty now. A pain will be nice.
I feel if they couldn't be bothered to correct the words on their sign, they shouldn't be bothered for my time. So I'm down for the windmill.
I'm following other people because they were there first.
Sounds good
As
to
long
me.
as I'm right behind you.
Which one is slightly more... I wouldn't
Closer?
say it was more like upper class. It's not the upper class. It's more stuff.
Which smells the least?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Fair
really
question.
hard to tell which smells the least because everything here smells pretty bad. In terms of which one looks more upper class, the ship's flag is a much smaller building. The Mill Inn looks like it's got another story to it. And what you think maybe is some stables attached, judging by the smell of horse manure radiating from that side of the street.
Which one looks more like a Weatherspoons?
Wanna go to
The
the
Mill
windmill?
Inn.
Yeah.
Mill it is. Let's go.
Yeah. The windmill.
Let's go to the melon.
People with
Yeah,
horses have
Archibald, are you
more
alright?
stuff.
Yeah, I feel great. Goodbye, people. And I start to wave to all the villages.
You start to wave. There are no villagers in the street anymore, but the one dude on the floor that Frisnell gave a good kicking to is just whimpers again, like "Ah!" worried that your hello and goodbye might be signs of another attack.
Only on himself, like.
But you all manage to walk the very short distance up towards the Mill Inn. The view of the building that you get as you approach it is not much better than the view you got from further back. It's just now bigger and closer and just as filthy as everything else is around here. You can just make out behind the building some stables that probably smell like they haven't been cleaned in a while, and the sight of some poor stable boy running back and forth but seemingly not doing very much. You enter through the door, and Nash, you probably have to like stoop your head to get in this tiny little doorway. You find yourself in a large open tavern area. The floorboards are a bit creaky and squeaky and probably rotting in places. It is really poorly lit. The windows are not conductive to letting light in, and the handful of candles that look like they've been scraped together from leftover wax don't do much to light the inside of this tavern. You can see there's some stairs that lead up. You're not sure how trustworthy those are, or whether or not they were even put together by somebody who knew what stairs were, judging by the look of them. But it gives the impression that perhaps there are rooms here. And then there is the bar with a fairly gruff looking tavern keep behind it, who doesn't appear to pay you any attention when you walk in at all.
Ching ching. Ching ching. Does he pay attention to Silver?
At the sound of the ching-ching of silver, the tavern keep whips his head around, and you can see he's polishing a tankard, but it doesn't look like, as long as he's standing there polishing it, that it's getting any cleaner. as he kind of turns around and looks at all of you and just stares. 1,000-yard stare expectantly.
Do you
Hear
have
me.
do you have a napkin, sir?
Kind of
Because
doesn't answer you, just looks behind the
It
bar,
won't stop. I mean,
picks up a rag and throws it at you. It's damp. It's got bits all over it, which may or may not be mold or leftover bar crackers from God knows how long ago. It's pretty disgusting.
okay.
But you can.
Sounds delicious.
My kind of place. Dear me.
And he
Beer
takes
me
the
too,
tankard
please.
that he's been polishing that definitely doesn't look clean and pours you out an ale, Frisnell, and just puts it down.
There are 4 of us.
How many's that?
Another one of those, another one of those, and another one of those.
Plus
Right.
2.
And whatever Baldy wants.
He goes back and he pours a number of drinks. There is one too many somehow. Just puts them
Fine.
down on the counter.
that. Yeah.
More
There's no
for me.
such thing as too many beers.
It's not a thing, you know.
No. It just means that's not. I mean, Irish handcuffs, beer in each hand.
I'm gonna start drinking. We fought for this drink. I deserve it.
It is piss poor tasting ale that has either been watered down with water or maybe actual piss. But it's better than nothing. And Frisnell, for you, it's beer. So
Home.
Tasty.
Home is at the bottom of this glass, or the next one, or whatever.
You'll find
Time,
it. You'll find
time
it.
to start drinking.
Yeah.
I've probably never tasted a beer that's better than this. So to me, it's just beer.
It tastes fine to me.
Nash,
Yep.
I'm curious to know, what does it look like as you're drinking this beer? Because you have rusted nails for teeth.
Well, it's more like a open the mouth.
It's just
And then
beer
pour
awkwardly
it in.
running
Yeah, and
out
it just-
between the nail teeth.
Yeah, and it just sort of dribbles down. Yeah.
Eventually, around Nash, there's just like a little puddle of beer on the floor
Dribbling down
that
there.
sinks into the no longer varnished floorboards, if they ever were. And it's as you're kind of having this drink at the bar that the bartender kind of finds another tankard from somewhere to polish that looks even grubbier than the first one. Says, "What you lot doing here then?"
Drinking.
Yeah. Usually we see your lot and there's a trouble, or you've come to root something out or root something in. So you're not here
No.
about the crazy one with all the summoning bullshit then?
Is there another crazy one in the town?
You haven't heard?
About what?
I mean, we just got here.
We just got here.
Oh, well,
Fire.
apparently there's some lunatic running around summoning things from some pit or whatever. I don't really believe it. I haven't seen it myself. But apparently he's trying to summon, and he kind of looks around at nobody else in here. Just leans really far forward into all of you. The goose.
Oh, what now?
The
Bullshit.
goose.
Give me beer.
Well, like a duck, but bigger.
No. The goose that was. The goose
The
that
goose?
is. The goose that shall be. And you just watch as his
Sounds
eyes
right.
bulge and, a vein pops somewhere.
Not making sense, mate.
But
So
like
do
a
you
I
bird.
mean,
It's
I
not
mean-
like a regular goose. It's like the goose. The goose.
Do you only have one goose?
is he really hungry and wants to eat goose?
The blackened goose from beyond time.
And then I tap Frisnell and I say, "Hey mate,
Yeah.
what's a goose?"
It's like a duck, only it's whiter.
Bigger.
Okay.
Not quite as white as a swan,
Gotcha.
but it's
gotcha.
yeah.
And
Between
then
a duck and a goose.
then
Between
I
a duck
tap-
and a swan.
I tap Nash and I say, "Hey, what's a duck?"
Oh, it tastes really good.
Great.
Yeah.
I look at Archibald and go, if you ask me what is the taste, I will walk out of this building right now.
Okay, so I will keep my mouth shut right now.
Well, you can open it for beer, surely. So,
Why would that be a bad thing to have a goose?
Can't you just eat
don't
it?
they lay eggs?
Eggs are delicious.
Omelets are made with eggs.
Hell
Wouldn't
goose
a goose
doesn't
be-
lay eggs, just brings chaos. I mean, it sounds like poppycock to me because summoning
Sounds
that
like
thing would take
bollocks.
some work, you know, and
Haha, who ever thought about bringing things back from the dead, right?
I
Oh,
have a question.
as if.
I have a question.
yeah.
Which one was summoned first? The goose or the goose egg?
The barkeep just looks at you. Aye,
Yeah.
aye.
Think about that.
Think
Suppose you
about that
need the
while you
egg
get
to
this
summon
more
the
beers.
goose.
But you wouldn't have the egg if you didn't have the goose.
What if it's a magic egg?
What if it's a
What is
magic,
the magic goose?
Well, then the magic goose lays the magic egg.
So the goose
Then
comes
we have
first.
magic omelette.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, sure it is. More beer, please.
Now I want
Goes
some
off.
eggs.
Gets more beer, plonks it down. It's short by
So-
one this time.
So if people are really mad about this goose thing, why is nobody telling him to stop?
Because he's summoning all sorts of shit, apparently. I don't know. Who wants to wade out into wherever the asshole's made his little summoning circle among the reeds of the river? You know, just
Ooh, adventure. Not me.
Nope, no, I would not do it without being paid.
well, there you go. That's why nobody's gone out to tell him to stop.
This,
I mean, I
anyone-
don't really believe it because, you know,
Oh,
it
I'm
turns out
I'm
that not
sure it's
everyone
true.
is as intelligent as me. You know,
Oh.
I mean,
some
you
people
also have
fall
me beer,
for
right?
absolutely anything. You know,
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Let's say, hypothetically, if we go and talk with this goose, is there some kind of,
he just
reward?
looks horrified at you. Talk with the
And then
goose.
And then eat it.
Wait, are we eating the goose?
Well,
There
if
is
it
no
presents
goose.
itself, yeah. If there's an opportunity to eat
I thought we were having omelette.
I could eat.
Yeah, but it's a demon goose, though. I mean, wouldn't that be a bit tangy?
Well, we're
might be nice,
not
so you don't know.
demons, but I don't know. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a roof over our head, there's beer in front of us, there's a man who gives us more beer when we chuck coins at him. Why do you not stay here and drink more beer? That's
Well,
a
that depends.
really good
Is
plan.
anyone going to give us more money to
Yeah.
find out if a goose is real or not? So we have more money to spend on beer?
I want to meet the
I-
goose.
I don't
I
But
say-
the
give a
barkeep looks equally
monkeys?
horrified and confused.
I say we sit here and drinking beer until such a time that someone wants to pay us money to go and
I
fix
don't
the goose
I
situation.
think that's a
No,
fantastic
no one's
idea.
going to pay you money to go and talk to Terry What's his fucking face out there because it's bullshit.
Oh, I get it. I know what a goose looks like. No, okay, false alarm. We're cool now. We're cool. I know what's a
Great.
goose.
Is he all right?
No.
I
I mean,
feel-
yeah, he's fine. Yeah, great.
They hit your
No.
head recently. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, someone punched him in the face. It was weird.
Yeah, weird.
It
Oh.
was all an experience.
Yep. So yeah, so adventure calls out there, and there's a quest that I'm not going on. Great.
But why
Is
not?
it an issue? Is
Well-
this goose an issue for people?
What goose?
No,
Was
no,
the-
it's more that everyone's spreading the rumors that he's gonna summon it. But I've met Terry. All right. I mean, maybe he could summon up a few weird gribbly things now and then. But the blackened goose from beyond time, the goose.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I buy beer.
Where is
You
it?
should keep
Just-
doing that. I am in the
Yeah, we
business
should.
of selling beer.
Good.
Yeah.
Can't go
He-
wrong.
Serves you a
Is-
few
is
more
the-
beers, and you may be in here like 10, 15 minutes up at the bar. until maybe you find yourself a table by the fire. It's not any more comfortable than standing, probably less so.
Yeah.
As you take a seat and will yourselves to not go on adventure and just enjoy not having to do something that involves slogging around in sewers, dismembering things, people, or animals, or
Somebody else's problem.
Yeah, or some other horrible task that your demon baron usually sends you on.
Yes. No one's asked. No one's asked for help.
No, hopefully no one will.
So, be fine.
It is at this point, as you are sitting there, finally maybe just getting to the point where maybe you're actually enjoying this beer, when the door to the Mill Inn slams open and a kind of haggard looking old man carrying a large staff that looks like it's made from 3 different mid-size length twigs, like banded together, who has draped himself in like fabric that's moth-eaten with holes in it, in some sort of almost like a wizard's cloak. And you hear the barkeep shout out, no, get out of here with that, Terry. I'm not having your fake magic wizard rubbish in here. As you see him like start to reach around the bar to grab a little stick of his own. As you see the man who has been called out as Terry stands there with his little makeshift wizard staff, and he slams it on the floor. It collapses into nothing and he drops it as the twigs fall apart, and he just shouts, "Behold!" Spreads his arms wide, and with a horrible burst of viscera and rib bone and bits of liver, his chest bursts open. And coming out from the depths of his chest, barely covered in this viscera, are 2 dark black wings, a long extended neck, a beak, 2 glowing yellow eyes. In said beak is a gnarly looking axe with spikes all along the end and a rusty but still sharp looking blade. And all you hear as it echoes out within the room of the inn as the barkeep screams and takes cover is honk. A honk that rattles the floorboards, rattles the metal of your tankards, as before you, unbelievably, angry, wings spread flapping, axe in beak, is Anserinox, the Hell Goose.
I turn to the barman, point at the goose and shout, "Goose!"
There it is.
The barman is like half over the bar, scraping off the silver that you've left on there, and just nods and slowly disappears.
So is Terry dead, or?
Is he alright? Is he okay?
Is that your main concern?
I mean, I'm worried though. Like, I'm not
scenario?
sure. Is he still like?
Everyone can make me a presence test as you're like over in the corner, and Serenox the Hell Goose is just standing, its yellow eyes peering out as the body of Terry lies behind it.
Oh, okay, he's dead. All right.
What did everybody roll?
16.
Oh my god, I'm on fire! Oh wait, I'm a
16.
minus a present. I rolled a 12.
12?
11 plus 1 is 12.
12.
16.
And Archibald?
Ah.
2. Oh.
Oh, well.
Archibald, you're pretty sure that man could probably still be alive. I mean, you've punched yourself in the face a lot, and
Absolutely.
you know that's never killed you. That's not what got you in the first place. So he's probably fine. Couple of
Slap a bandage on it.
bandages.
Yeah, a couple of gutters. I mean, it's not a big of a deal. I mean,
Put some dirt in the wound, it'll be fine.
The rest of you, however, as Archibald seems unconcerned by the state of Terry, can probably gather by the way the chest has exploded open and bits of rib and viscera now scatter around and Serenox like some sort of hellish ceremonial circle, that Terry is almost certainly very, very fucking dead.
Is that normal
Bugger.
for a ritual?
I would have thought that you'd sacrifice someone else for one of those, right?
Yeah.
Fuck that goose.
There's a
I
call
just think
from behind the bar. Terry never was very intelligent.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that.
But the man is still alive.
Should we do something about the goose with the axe in its mouth?
Yeah, we should twat it.
As soon as Colby, you say the word goose, you watch as Ceranox's head and neck just twist towards you. And you feel it in your bones as much as you hear it out loud, but the low, threatening honk. Let's roll initiative, friends. I'm going to roll a d6 so we get to see who goes first.
Cool. It's d6 for initiative.
Well, I'm sat down now having a beer, so...
It is me.
Oh.
So go ahead and roll your regular initiative then, and we'll figure out everyone else's order after that.
I got a 6.
I got
The
5.
benefits of folks at home, I feel the need to point this out, because if I don't, you're missing out an amazing thing about this. But Ceranox has got 2 main forms of attack. It's Axe of Honk, and it's Waddle of Fury. So what have we got for initiative?
That sounds dangerous.
5 for Kobe.
6.
Colby. Oh no. Was that 6 for Frisnell?
Yep.
And how about Nash?
1.
Oh dear. And Archibald?
5.
I am sat down drinking beer. I can't get up from this armchair.
Okay. Well, just as you say, maybe we should do something about the goose. Colby, as you're kind of the first one to really address the goose, you suddenly see black wings spread out as the waddling form of Ceranox just makes a beeline straight for you. I'm going to need you to roll some defense here to try and avoid the Waddle of Fury. So go ahead and roll me an agility test, please.
Natural 1.
Oh. So that's a fumble. Do you have... You don't have any armor, because I didn't give you any armor.
Nope.
So you're going to take double damage from the Waddle of Fury. So it is a d6. Let's go ahead and roll this. So you're going to take 8 points of damage.
Well,
As you all witness Ceranox, wings spread, axe in mouth, starts honking and waddling towards you at an alarming pace. It's not just the force of this goose knocking you off your feet, Colby, that does you the damage, but somewhere in your psyche, the sight of this waddle is terrifying. It's like no other goose you've seen before. It has an evil intent in just the way that it moves. And as it knocks you over, you watch as it then almost like splays its wings out over the top of you and looks at the rest of you like it dares for the next person to make them move. And that next person is Frisnell.
And I'm just the kind of guy to do it. Twat it with my sword. Oh, dagger, sorry. D6 dagger.
Dagger. So you,
Get in!
what does the dagger look like? Describe this dagger as you pull it out from wherever you sheathed it.
It's kind of a good foot long. It's a bit rusty. One side of it is not very well looked after at all, but the other side is looked after very well. One side has obviously been used to open bottles. The other side has just been used to cut cheese or bread or any of the fine foods that I find upon my way. But mostly it's just a rusty foot long with a cloth wrapped handle and a metal cross piece that's kind of okay-ish. You know, if you were looking at it in a shop, you'd go, only if it's the last one left. And I will then charge the goose.
So you go to charge the goose, and Serenox's head snaps over to you, the beady yellow eyes staring out, glowing, as it honks at you in challenge. Go ahead and make that roll.
Well, first thing first, I shout a battle cry of "Come on, you twat!" as I start windmilling and give it some with the dagger.
Go for it. So it's going to be a melee attack.
Melee attack, unadjusted 17, strength -1, so 16.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Give it some. And then a d6.
Yep.
4.
4. Okay. So you smack the goose, cut it up. There's a burst of black and white feathers that go everywhere.
Get in.
You're sure that even though the goose can't narrow its eyes at you in hatred, you get the sense somehow that that's what it's doing. And maybe you have singled yourself out for some terrible fate. As there's a loud
Sounds very likely.
as feathers go everywhere. Next up, we have Colby.
All right, it's on Tommy, right?
Pardon? Yeah,
It's on
it's kind of
Tommy's
like
though, right?
it's not quite standing over you, but it's got like one webbed foot up on your thigh as if it's claimed its victim.
At the end of the day, it's still a goose. I'm gonna try and pick it up and just grapple it by holding it by its wings and its head like that.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
no.
Make me a strength roll if you're just gonna try and like grapple it to grab it.
Natural 20. God is good.
Nice.
Apparently,
So
that's all I can roll today.
as Anceranox, one webbed foot up on you, like it's already claiming victory, honks low and deep towards Frisnol, spreading its wings again, preparing maybe for another waddle. You, from underneath it, you pick it up like you pick ducks up. You kind of like scoop under one thing and then grab its neck. And it starts thrashing as that axe of honk starts barely narrowly missing your arm as feathers begin to flap, and you're now just like holding on to this quite larger than normal goose that is honking in the most terrifying fashion you have ever seen. But you do currently have a hold of Anceranox the Hell Goose.
I mean, we feather it. We could make a good stew out of that.
Pardon?
We could make a good stew out of that. Let's not
Yeah.
throw away good meat. I'm just saying. Anyway,
Yeah,
carry on.
not too many stabbing holes, okay?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Archibald.
think of the goose.
This is
Yeah.
what you see now that really draws your attention away from what you believe is the still living body of Terry.
Definitely. I gotta check on Terry.
Is that what you want to go and do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you rush over past Colby, who has this large, flapping, evil goose in his arms that he's barely managing to like hold a grip onto, over to Terry, who is lying among the shattered remains of his own ribs, liver, spleen, the faux wizard staff that he had, and his faux wizard cape that looks like it was just an old ragged blanket, now soaking up the blood which he is leaving on the floor. What would you like to do?
I will start to blow inside his mouth, and I will start to massage his heart on my hands to try to find an answer to life and death right there.
So you start trying to perform CPR. You do the airway, and one lung inflates that you can see in the chest. The other one just sputters.
That's a good sign.
Blood
I've
and
seen that
mucus
before. That's a
everywhere
good
where
sign.
it's burst. You reach into the viscera of his chest and just begin pumping a heart that's only still half together as more blood sprays everywhere. And all you can see from behind Colby holding this goose is just bits of blood and skin tissue just going everywhere. Is Archibald saying anything while he does this?
Don't give up, Terry. Don't give up.
That's what you hear over the sound of the squawks and the honks of Anceranox. You just hear, "Don't give up, Terry! Don't give up!" As more blood splatters somewhere. Amazing. I love that Archibald's trying so hard. Nash, what are you choosing to do?
Oh no!
Seeing all of this happening around you.
Yeah. I will. I have one thing that you gave me on this character sheet, which is
Use
like,
it!
Which is pretty useful,
it's
but
a
I can't
very
find
small
it.
knife.
Is it the pig sticker?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say it looks like a letter opener.
It probably is a letter opener,
Yeah,
but
I
at some
nicked
point, like, has been sharpened down and is probably no longer that sharp anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I opened a lot of letters, and now it's gonna try and stab a goose.
I believe.
I'll try and stab a goose.
Go ahead and make that roll.
Somewhere away from the axe end. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Cool. Do I add anything to it? Strength.
So you're rolling to hit here, so it would be a melee attack. So you're looking for a 12 or higher.
I got an 18.
18, yeah. You can definitely stab Anceranox as you don't manage to stab Colby by accident. So you can go ahead and roll the d4 for me.
Oh, that's a 1.
You know, I will give you double damage on this because you've got Colby like keeping that grip on Anceranox. So we'll call that 2 damage.
It's a prone goose.
It is a mechanically prone goose. Please don't ask me for the 5e grappling rules because I can't remember what they are. And then
stab it with my ornate.
There's more honking and squawking, and like a feathered wing bats you in the face that eventually causes you to back off a bit after you get a good few jabs in there on the underbelly. However, Anceranox is not happy about currently being held like this. This is not the kind of embrace that Anceranox wants. There's not nearly enough blood. So Colby, I need you to roll agility for defense as you try to hold on to the goose.
Okay.
As it swings its head round and tries to catch you with that axe of honk.
I get a +2 for agility, right?
Let me have a look at your sheet here.
I mean, do I get my agility added to that? I was just checking.
Yes, you roll a d20 and add 2.
In that case, yeah, just 12.
Just 12.
Yeah.
It is... Let me just double check this. Yeah, it is just enough. You hear a deep rumbling. You can feel it in your hands as you're holding the underbelly of this goose. The deep honk, the angry, malicious honk as it swings its head around, and you can see that axe coming towards your face. How do you avoid
Less
it?
of that. Less of that.
As you like put it at arm's length again, and you can almost hear the disappointed honk. And the stare, the glowing eyes just looking straight into yours, like it judges you deeply for missing that attack.
It's not my fault.
But you still manage to keep hold of Anceranox, so you're fine there. Frisnell, you see this, the goose's attention now solely fixed on Colby, who's struggling to hold it still as wings go out, batting people in the face.
Do I have time to take a swig of beer before I stab it again?
Yeah.
Then in that case, quick swig, chib time.
You can have beer in one hand and shiv in the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for it. Make that attack roll.
18.
18. That'll do it.
-1, 17.
Yeah, still does it.
Well, of course I stabbed the goose, but more importantly, I do not spill any beer doing so.
You managed to do it rather impressively. You not only stab the goose, but as soon as you feel the blade take purchase somewhere and the angry squawk of the hell goose, you manage to like kind of semi-stab and drink at the same time. It's a very victorious looking moment.
This is life. Or undeath, or whatever.
You
This is
narrowly
it.
avoid one of Anceranox's wings batting out towards you that nearly knocks that precious tankard of beer. But not quite.
Well, you remember the angry, evil stare you said he gave me? I'm giving
Yeah.
it back to him for nearly spilling my pint.
Anceranox, it's almost like he can tell that this stare is happening as its head snaps back around to look at you and turns ever so slightly, looking at that tankard of beer in spite. Colby.
It's still moving around. It's got an axe in its mouth, which is really deadly, by the way, and not all right. I'm gonna just like bash its head against the table a few times, trying to calm down. Like,
Okay.
chill.
Go ahead, make me a melee attack. So you're gonna be rolling strength.
All right, strength is 0. That's a 14.
The 14, yeah. You take the thing is you can't just like hit its head. You have to like move the whole goose. This thing's quite large. As you just start smashing it into the table, every time there's a crunch, you hear honk, smash, honk, like it's in defiance of you trying to kill it.
I'm just trying to calm it down. Like,
There's a couple of times where the axe itself in its mouth gets lodged in the table. So not only are you trying to haul the weight of this goose, it refuses to let go of that axe. So it's like, when you try to pull an axe out of a bit of wood and it's not quite coming, and you almost like stumble backwards a little bit. Actually, go ahead and make me an agility test, because I think that's funny. As the axe gets lodged into the table pretty deep.
I'll be a 10.
You watch as, Colby's doing a fairly successful attack on this. Roll me a d6 for damage to Anceranox as well.
That'll be a 2.
That'll be a 2. So as you keep smashing, there comes a point where the axe actually lodges itself pretty hard in, and you go to pull, and there's a squawk, as it now looks like an awkward tug of war, with Colby pulling Anceranox, and Anceranox trying to pull on the axe, and the axe dragging the table with it. And as you pull a bit harder, Colby, you find yourself going flying backwards, hitting the floor. You let go of Anceranox as you try to break the fall. Feathers go everywhere. Angry honking and squawking happens, and you don't quite see where the hell goose lands. Archibald, you're vaguely aware that something rather violent is happening behind you from the squawking and the honking.
I'm devastated right now. I'm devastated because I did everything I could for Terry, but
it's by this point that you realize that maybe the fact that he only has half a heart and one lung is the problem here, and that maybe he has in fact
I was this
on.
close. I was this close to save
But
him.
you believe that. You believe if you'd only been a few more moments quicker, just a few, maybe you could have done something.
Then I start to see red because I'm in anger. I'm furious anger. So I start to look for the goose. And I scream at the top of my lungs, "You bastard, you killed Terry!"
You look around for the goose and you spot it. It's currently kind of like flipped over partly on its side, trying to get itself back up underneath one of the bar tables, just behind where Colby is as it went over Colby's head as he went backwards.
Absolutely. Then I took my shield and I say, "Call a doctor, but not for me." And I start to run to the goose.
Okay, do you want to do anything when you get to it?
I'm gonna tackle it with everything I got.
Okay, go ahead and make me, I guess, another strength test, because you're all going for, you're not throwing anything at this. But you go to tackle the goose and try to grab it.
A 10?
A 10. You take the shield and like you move up on it, and just as you think you've got it, you go for the leap forward, and then Anceranox just waddles out of the way with a little flourish of its wings, and you smack the hard, slightly bloodied, rotting wooden floor.
Sneaky
And all
fucker.
of you can see this now, by the way, behind Colby on his ass, the way Anceranox just kind of almost like waddle sidesteps out of the way, like it was waiting for just the right moment. But you hit the floor pretty hard there, Archibald.
Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you won't.
Yep.
Today is a bad day. there's anything I can do. Not for the goose, for Terry.
You're pretty sure at this point that Terry has gone.
Fuck.
Because you look back at him now, expecting to see the lungs moving again and the heart moving again, because they were doing that when you were breathing into his mouth, but now they are still.
Okay. I need a minute, guys.
We don't have a minute!
If you want to, Archibald, you can just kind of like saddle up to a stall and just take a minute.
Yeah.
Right next to Terry's body.
Yes.
Yeah. Nash, you see this happen. Colby go flying. The goose is loose again. Archibald
loose?
seems incredibly distressed about Terry.
The loose goose. I'm just gonna look at my that letter opener. Throw it.
gonna throw it like a dart. Okay.
Yeah, like a.
So that's gonna be a ranged attack. So you're gonna make a presence test here.
Okay. Yeah, a 7. I lost
7.
it.
You take the letter opener, and in that moment you throw it at Inceranox, and it's, you know, like when you chase pigeons away,
Yeah.
where you kind of shoot them, and Ceranox just kind of takes a little flutter backwards away from the blade as it sticks into the ground right in front of it, and it looks at it, swings the axe around in its mouth to the other side, puts its wings out and lowers its head and just goes honk.
Rude.
As it comes running towards you, because it is now on Ceranox's turn.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Disaster.
So I need you to roll me an agility test, please.
Brilliant. This is where I die. Fantastic.
Just roll a 20, problem solved.
Yeah, well, that was not a 20. That was an
Oh.
8, and that's a -2 for agility.
Oh no! Oh no!
So it's a 6.
Okay, well,
You can do it, Nash.
that is going to
Maybe
be
not.
6 points of damage
Yeah.
as Anceranox,
I'm still
taking
alive.
seemingly personal offense to this measly knife in comparison to its great axe. Just
Oh.
and the worst bit is the waddle doesn't seem very fast. It looks like a goose waddling. You feel like you should have been able to dodge out of the way, but then suddenly it comes underneath you, you're on your face, and Anceranox again has got one webbed foot up on your backside in victory as it lets out a loud honk again. Frisnal, you see this, and Ceranox claiming victory about putting somebody else on the ground. Its head raised,
Rude.
axe aloft,
Nope.
wings out.
Nope. I'm going to take that as a personal insult and attempt to stab him again.
Go for it.
Stabbing the goose. I mean, I have a knife and there's a goose in front of me, so what should I do? Stab the goose. 13 -1 for strength, so 12.
That's just enough. Takes
Then
a
we
couple of
shall-
turns, and you nearly spill the beer as Ceranox bats its wings
6
at
damage.
you. Nice.
6 damage. I feel all
Nice.
heroic and take a nice big swig of beer.
You do. You take a good swig of beer, and that cup is now empty. There is beer behind the bar, and you can see over on the bar there's a couple of tankards from where the barkeep had miscounted in a previous couple of
Yeah.
rounds.
Goose or beer? Goose or beer? Beer, obviously, but what am I doing? Yeah. Alright, beer.
So you take a good stab at Ceranox and not happy about it, and then you look over at the beer, and once again you can feel the glowing yellow eyes of the hell goose on you as it looks at you, and you look at it, and it looks at the beer, and you look at the beer.
I'm in a pub, I'm with my mates, I'm having a pint, a bit of a scrap. Nothing wrong with this. Nothing
There's
wrong with
everything wrong with this.
this.
Do you
This is
say
fine.
anything to each other as this is going on? You've got Archibald sitting on a
All right,
stool
mates.
over by Terry.
Having fun.
Oh.
Flat it. Get up. Come on.
Is it
More
my
goosing to be
turn?
goosed.
It is your turn, Colby.
I'll go, hi Archibald, duck! And I'm gonna punt the goose at Archibald's head.
I want you to make me a ranged attack.
Is that presence?
Yes.
Presence.
I'm honestly not
is-
sure who the target of this attack is, if it's the goose or Archibald at
It's
this point.
14.
This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Okay. Archibald, I want you to make me an agility test.
Seven.
Okay. So Colby, you're actually aiming for Archibald's head.
Yeah, I'm aiming for where Archibald is, because Archibald's in mourning right now, and I'm like, I ain't got time for this. Boots, deal with it.
So as Anserinox is busy celebrating its minor victory over Nash and giving a horrible sadistic stare towards the last few pints sitting on the counter, Colby, do you want to describe how you run up and punt the hell goose across the tavern?
If it was a camera shot, there's a shot where it's standing over Nash looking proud. It looks up, the camera's right there, and then and then my foot comes out of nowhere and then just catches it like mid-wing, and then it goes, whoa!
And suddenly all of you can see, except Archibald, who I assume is weeping over Terry's body, hear the squawk and honk, honk, honk as the wings try to bat, and it's not enough. As Anserinox with the axe goes tumbling through the air and smacks straight in to Archibald. Archibald, you're sitting there mourning the passing of Terry, as suddenly something large and feathered smacks you in the face and knocks you off the stool into Terry's deceased corpse. Lloyd, go ahead and roll me a d8 for the damage that Acerinox takes from both your kick and the impact on Archibald.
No problem.
And then
I'll take a
roll
7.
me a 7, did you say?
Yep.
And roll me a d6, d4 for the damage that Archibald takes. I'm feeling generous.
That'll be a 3.
Take 3 points of damage, Archibald, as Anserinox just smacks you straight in the face. There's feathers everywhere. You're now finding yourself, like, staring over at the open chest cavity of Terry. And it is your turn.
Okay.
Is Terry okay?
Terry, I think we've established that Terry is definitely not okay.
Okay. Is the goose near to me? I know that I'm standing.
Yeah, the goose is like right next to you, picking itself up and righting itself.
Okay.
Axe in beak.
I try to grab him by the neck.
Go ahead. Make me a melee attack roll. To be your strength.
14.
14.
Yeah.
You reach out and grab Anserinox by the neck. And you're now in a similar situation to what Colby was in, where it's like waddling, all of the back end of its body is waddling as its head can't go anywhere or do anything, and it's awkwardly dancing around where you're holding it.
The only difference is that I'm totally blind by Terry's death, and I will try to choke the fuck out of that goose.
You're trying to choke. Roll me a
choke.
Roll me a d6. You have hold of it right now, so you can start on it. I'll let you have that as your attack.
Absolutely. 6.
6.
Nice.
Okay. You start choking it, and you can hear the honks now going from honk to honk, honk.
I can do that, bitch, too, as well. Honk, honk, and I start to yell at the goose.
You start to yell back, and suddenly all of you can just see as Archibald is in a very strange honking contest now with Anserinox.
I'm gonna be the devil at their own game.
Nash.
Yeah.
This is what you kind of, as you can roll onto your back to get up, this is what you see is Archibald choking Anceranox by the neck and honking in its face as it does the same back.
Cool. Well, my knife is gone. Well, it's there.
Your
But
knife
it's
is
gone.
stuck in a floorboard on the other side of the room.
Ah, it's gone.
But there are
So-
plenty of stools and chairs
Yeah,
around, or
Well,
other bar ephemera.
I'd like to jump on the goose, and I want to get to its neck in some way, and then bite it
Okay.
with my
I'm-
rusty nails.
Yeah, go ahead and make. You're trying to like
Nash.
leap on it, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that's agility.
So I
That is
nearly got you. Go ahead and
terrible.
make me a strength test.
Nash it, Nash.
Yes, a natural 20!
Yes.
Finally!
Okay.
Yay, 21.
So you managed to like. Does Nash even like stand up or do that like awkward scramble across the floor
Yeah, the
that you do when you're trying to get up? By the time you're halfway up, you are now looming over Archibald, and Serenox is there, and you can clamp down with your rusty nails of teeth. What do we reckon? Teeth for rusty nails. Solid D6?
Solid D6.
Go ahead, roll me a D6, and you're going to get double damage on this.
Fuck. That's a 1. Fuck's sakes.
Oh
Fuck you.
So you clamp down, but what you end up getting is all of like the edge feathers,
Yeah.
as Anceranox is flapping its wings, desperately trying to get out of Archibald's grip.
I want to keep holding as well.
Okay.
As
You do
long
now have like feathers stuck between your teeth that begin to like tickle at your face.
as-
You can't really see because you're all up in the wing now, but you can like stay kind of clamped down onto the little bit of skin you've managed to catch.
Yeah.
And Serenox turns out not best pleased about being manhandled like this. This is not the respect that the Hell Goose was expecting upon its arrival. And it's just going to thrash its head about and try to catch Archibald with that axe of honk. So Archibald, go ahead and roll me an agility test.
Okay, this is my last Saturday, guys. I'm pretty sure about it.
I believe in you.
11?
Not quite enough. As you get really up close, screaming in its face, honking, and Serenox is honking out, and you can see a little bit the glowiness of the eyes beginning to dull as you choke the life out of the Hell Goose. Leaning in is your mistake as it swipes its head back, and the front of this rusted, thick blade comes clean across your face. Oh wow, this is a D10. That's mean. I like it. That's going to be 9 points of damage. You can all blame Jared for this one.
Yeah.
As the goose, you can all Nash. You probably get the best view of this, and maybe not so much Frisnell and Colby, who are standing kind of behind. But are you still alive, Archibald?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just see a smattering of blood go everywhere. The color drain from Archibald, that red skin turning grey and corpse-like, as you see the flash of the axe and a victorious honk, honk,
Bugger.
as suddenly and Serenox is partly free, not from Nash, but from Archibald as his hands go limp. And as he slumps down onto the floor, like face pressed into the floorboards, bits of Terry's bone that have exploded everywhere, and Serenox takes one large webbed foot and just places it right on top of his face. Archibald, roll me a d4. We're gonna see what happens. Whether or not you are dead.
Yeah. A 3?
A 3. So you are hemorrhaging blood pretty bad. You are bleeding out of a large gash that's now been cut into your face.
I need a band-aid, people. I need a band-aid.
You will die in an hour if somebody doesn't sort you out.
Ah, we're fine.
Oh, let's
Yeah, I've seen worse.
Plenty of time. Walk it off.
So, we are back up to the top here, Frisnell. This is what you see. Archibald being slashed open with the axe of Honk, and Serenox triumphantly placing its webbed foot right on top of his face, like a victor in battle, as Nash is barely holding on to a bit of its wing.
How does Anserinox look? Does he look healthy? Does he look like a spry spring chicken or spring goose? Or does he look like he's been through the wars a bit?
Oh, he looks like he's been through the wars. There are patches of feathers now that are like damaged and ruffled, and somewhere Nash has just stripped them from the wing and they're now stuck in her teeth.
If you were gonna put the goose's like well-being in the form of a percentage, what percentage healthy is he right now?
Like maybe like less than 10? You can see
Time for more applied violence then.
From the many wounds, you can see it's seeping. It's not doesn't even look like blood, but it looks like something that's septic and would probably give you a disease if you touched it a bit too much. But you can see now the glowing eyes that were growing dull as Archibald choked the life of Anserinox are now back with a glowing vengeance as it just screams victory honks into the air. Spreads its wings, Nash, which you have hold of one of them, and it kind of tosses your head to the side like it's daring for somebody to try now that it has potentially claimed one victim.
He's daring somebody to try. I am that somebody. Time for more applied violence, I think. I will apply some more violence through my fancy dagger. Oh, the beer, I'm going to have to wait for the beers because he's now getting in the way. I mean, he killed Baldy. That's not nice.
Yeah.
He did for Terry. He's done for Baldy. Who's next? Not me. So I'm going to twat him more.
Are you like running up to him and like just going in for the stab?
Yep, just going straight in. No, just making sure I don't hit anyone else because I like having Nash's teeth around. They're very youthful and they're my pals. So
yeah, you charge forward towards the goose, and the goose makes as if it's going to charge forward towards you, but it can't really because it's got to drag Nash a little bit along behind it. So it's less than an impressive waddle. It's not quite as fury inducing as it once was. But go for that attack.
3 minus 1 is 2.
2.
I think that's
but
significantly
it's not
less
a fumble,
than I need.
though, which is really important.
It's just a mere failure. Something which I am well versed in.
You've seen the Waddle of Fury. You expect this Waddle to be weirdly quicker. And so, wanting to like slash down as soon as it reaches your feet, you do that and you stick your dagger right into the floorboards between your feet, realizing that Anserinox is still trying to charge its way towards you with Nash hanging off of its wing as it awkwardly waddles.
What else can I do?
You have now moved out and are equally distant between Anserinox and the bar.
It's tougher. It's getting. I mean, he hurt Baldy, so I think, keeping distance.
Yeah.
The beer can wait.
It can wait, mate. It can wait.
It can wait.
Not long. Like the hand wave, like I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'll get better. Don't worry about it.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for the.
I will raise the morale of my friends with a song, and then remember I can't sing, and just let the moment pass.
I imagine there's a moment where like the nothing comes out. It's just
apart from an oi.
Colby, it is your turn.
All right. Colby's had enough of this nonsense. Colby finally draws the short sword. I'm gonna run in and two-hand chop this thing's head off.
Go for the attack. As it's still trying to like drag waddle its way towards Frisnell with Nash hanging onto the wing, severely hindering it. Go in for that swing.
Unfortunately, I rolled an 8.
You go in for the swing, and it's like Anserinox knows as it kind of looks back with big glowing eyes, and just as you swing, it ducks. As a little head just ducking down.
It's not a goose. It's not a duck. It's a goose.
I mean, Archibald now does know it's a goose, though, so I mean that's a good thing.
Something.
Everybody is
Actually.
clear that this is in fact a goose.
We're
not
on the
a
same page right now. We're on the same page, pal.
Nash, it is your turn as a short sword swung by Colby comes narrowly close to your face.
Sorry.
Oh, I missed it! Yeah, I will want to, again, try and go for the neck with the teeth.
I imagine you like clawing up and like releasing from one. You've still got feathers stuck in your teeth, like up in your vision. Go for that melee attack.
Oh no. Yeah, no. It's a 5.
5. You go to clamp down, and it's the moment that you have to like release the wing and try to reposition that your mistake was made of letting go of the goose. Because as soon as your jaws are free from it, it begins to dash forward, and you're kind of like, it slips out of your hands, and you're now slumped on the floor kind of again. And Friznell, it's coming right for you.
Good, I'm uninjured. I can take it. I can take it.
Wings out, honking furiously as it goes to swing the axe, as it kind of like doesn't quite take flight, but tries to do a little flutter upwards to smack you across the chest with it. Go ahead and roll that agility for the defense.
Full of bravado. 16 minus nothing. Oh, 16.
How do you avoid the axe of honk as it appears in your face and the beak of the goose?
I reach back and grab a pint and, sod it. Have a nice swig of the beer and spray beer in his face.
I like that. You reach back as you grab the pint, and Serenox does one slash, and as it comes up for the other one, you take the beer and spit it right in its face, and it reacts like any animal does when you spray water directly at it, in that it kind of squawks and like dashes backwards a little bit as it shakes its face, and you can see now among the viscera and the strange septic looking fluid leaking from it is just like beer dripping down its face. You're not sure if the goose can really change its expression, but the absolute displeasure on its face is almost horrific to behold.
Honk, honk, motherfucker.
As you say this to the goose,
Yeah.
and it stares back at you. There's no pupils in its beady eyes, but you know it's looking right at you as it honks back. Friznell, it is now your turn, though. Have I missed somebody?
Good.
I've missed. No, Archibald's down. So
Archibald's down.
yeah. So Friznell.
Well, perfect timing. It's right there. I've had a nice swig of beer. I've got a chib in my hand. Stab it.
Go for it.
2.
2. You
Minus
go
1's
to-
a 1, but it's not a fumble.
You go to stab it, and as you do, it takes this moment to drop the axe from its mouth. You know when geese are trying to get food off of you and they go in for that really aggressive snap with their beak? It goes to do
Yes.
that. Right as you go to do it, it like snaps at your hand that you're holding the knife in, and you have to like kind of pull it back, and then it picks the axe of honk back up. You watch as it kind of like swings its head around like it's circling now, waiting to see who's next. Colby.
Oh god.
All right. Part 1 didn't work. I'm swinging at its head. It's too liberal. So can I jump on it and just stab down? Just like,
Yes.
"Ah!"
Yeah, you can. I'm going to make this a ranged attack, though, since you're going more for the jump than just strength.
In which case, can I just throw my sword at it? Be like, screw it.
Yes, you can absolutely just launch your... Is it a short sword you have?
Yeah, short sword.
You can launch your short sword at it like a spear. I'm down for that.
Is it
That's
presence?
fine.
Yes.
-2 will give me 13.
13. You launch the short sword like it's a spear. Nash, you see this come over the top of your head. Archibald, you don't see it, but you hear the kind of as something flies through the air. Friznell, there's maybe a moment where you worry if this is going to come too far and spear you instead. But it doesn't. It plants itself firmly into Anserinox, the Hell Goose. Lloyd, go ahead and roll for that damage for me.
5.
5.
5. It's a D6, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the sword
Come on, we can do this.
plunges right into Anseranox through a wing, pinning it to its body. You hear a horrible squawk. It's deafening. It is more like a shriek from the pits of hell than anything that should come out of a goose's beak. And for a moment, Anseranox flops over. Septic fluid leaking. The head goes limp. And then the eyes come back to glowing, as with its one wing, it throws itself up, lets out the honk of all honks that rattles the floorboards and all of your bones as it takes the axe and kind of spins round, so its back is away from all of you, just waiting, its beady eyes switching between you all as it holds the axe. You can see its ragged breathing now as it takes its final stand. Archibald, as you are now laid on the floor, really unable to fight, do you do anything here, though?
Yeah.
You can, like, crawl around to see what's going on if you want, but is there anything you want to do in this moment?
I take a look to the goose, and then I look to my party and I say, "Run, you fools!"
Okay, this is what you hear as Archibald calls out, "Run, you fools," while trying to hold his face together.
He's delirious.
It is your turn.
One more go at the neck.
Go for it. You
do
go
it.
in for a charge, going for the neck.
Oh,
You see Anseranox's head whip around towards you. It bears down and spreads the one wing that isn't pinned to its body with the sword. Make that
got a
attack roll.
14.
That'll do it.
Woo. Okay. Pick another dice.
It's gonna roll a 2. Watch for this.
You can
Called
say,
it.
you know what's happening. It's a 2.
It's enough. Anseranox is 1 hit point away. Describe this for me. Describe how you launch in and sink those rusty teeth into the hell goose.
I just want to hold its really long neck and just pounce down and just rip it off.
You bite down, and all of you can see as bits of nails, jagged and not quite meeting, stick up at odd angles out of Anseranox's neck as you tear Nash, and there is blood and viscera everywhere. Feathers go up in a burst. You hear a horrible death honk, long and drawn out, even after you tear its head off, like there is some demonic vocal cord thing happening. And eventually, the honk fails to nothing. The beak lets go of the axe, which drops and sinks itself 2 inches into the wood next to your foot. And Anseranox, the hell goose, has been sent back to whichever septic hell pit it came from, at least until somebody summons it in another form again. What do you do in this moment?
Ah! Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, hooray!
I'll kick it one more time. Make sure it's dead.
You kick it, and its body just punts across the room and kind of rolls to a stop.
All right, I'll take my sword out. Yeah.
And I want to take the axe.
You take the axe of Honk. Yeah.
Fine.
Suddenly, in those few moments, the barkeep comes back up over the bar.
Shib's flag, anyone?
Have you got anything stronger than beer?
I could use a napkin.
No,
Also a napkin.
but
my friends
for
leave
5
there.
silver, I'll cook that for you.
Done.
Done.
And
Done.
immediately in that moment, he pops up. He comes back around from the counter, seemingly holding a shitty-looking rusted baking tray, takes the entire body of Anseranox, the head goose, Sans head, plumps it in there, and disappears off out of a door somewhere with it.
We should probably take care of Archibald.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Grab a
Yeah.
napkin.
Oh, there is that mouldy napkin lying around that Archibald used to clean his face earlier. We'll just
Yep,
put that on the
it's
wound.
lying on the floor by the bar.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, he's not going to die again, is he?
I'll need more than that. I will need more than that moldy napkin.
Well, we'll see about that later.
So
I'll go. Let's ask someone if. I mean, when a bartender comes back, let's ask him if there's a bandage we can use.
you
As long as he
spend
comes back before an hour.
like maybe the next 15 minutes just like patching Archibald up with whatever fabric, dirty rag, dishcloth, polishing cloths you can find, and eventually the bleeding kind of stems. A couple of hours later, you are served fresh hell goose on a platter.
Oh, yes.
Free
It
meal.
still
can't
kind of
complain.
tastes like shit.
Yeah,
But
hell goose
it's better
shit.
than whatever the hell you've been eating recently. You have enough time to enjoy the spoils of your fight. Whether or not you just leave Terry's carcass laying on the floor is up to you.
Not my problem.
Not until after we've looted it.
It's not my
and-
pub.
You manage to have an evening with a full stomach of goose and beer before that all familiar sense of your demon baron calling sets in. But
Oh, well.
that is the end of our adventure tonight, friends, of 8 Page Goose. This was amazing. I'm so glad everyone came on to play. This has been really fun, and everything I hoped it would be.
Goose.
So I think it's probably a good time to remind chat that we are giving away another physical copy of 8 Page Goose, of Demon Dog. So if you want to get up to shenanigans like this on an even grander scale, with all of the involvement of the Demon Barons, and I assume, Jared, some more absolutely horrific, hellish creatures to stab and punch
From
and punt across
the
taverns.
heart, from the heart of Dave Alsop, there will come some unspeakable furies.
Amazing. So make sure you type Goose in the chat while we're doing our outros here to be in a chance for winning that. And folks in the chat will reach out to you if you win. Let's go around and say hi to everybody and find out who everyone is and what they do and where we can find you and any of that other good stuff. So again, I'm just going to go by who's on the screen here. Let's start the other end. Let's start with Lloyd first of all. Hello, Lloyd. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you?
Hi, I'm Lloyd. I'm not drug dwarf online. I'm just a guy. Don't worry about me. I'm just special. Hi, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Lloyd is amazing. You should go follow Lloyd's Twitter.
Really sold that.
It's the shortest outro I've ever had from a player. Who is next on here? Homero, how are you doing? How was this for you?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. A small story, everyone. I battled a goose on real life once, and this is pretty remarkable. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, it was amazing. It felt real. It felt real. So I enjoy it, especially enjoy it. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here and to support this project. It's kind of funny. It's kind of gross in the good way, and it was very fun. I'm Homero. I'm a comic writer with work published by Heavy Metal Magazine and Metal Urland. I'm the co-founder of Reroll. And you can find all my work on thehomerorios.com, and I appear in all the social network as The Homero Rios.
Sorry, I had to sneeze there. That's amazing. Folks, make sure you go and check all of that stuff out. Check all of these awesome people out. You should, if you're not doing that, why? Speaking of awesome people, Bree, how was this for you? I love
Hi, that
Nash.
was amazing. Yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah, thank you for inviting me on. I've had a really good time. Yes.
Oh my god. Who are you? Where can people find you and
Hi,
things
Bree.
that you do?
I'm with the Fumble Folks. You can find us on Twitch, and put a link in all of the links everywhere. And we write one shots. These ones.
They're
all
pretty
over the
awesome.
place.
I've seen them. They're good. You should go look at them.
So they're like little D&D one-shots for brand new GMs and brand new players. And we stream D&D on Wednesday nights as well, where we actually have our very own Battle Goose summoned by our ranger.
That's amazing.
Good theme.
The goose are strong, is what I'm hearing in TTRPGs.
Exactly. You need a goose by your side when you're fighting.
Yeah, I too have my own goose TTRPG story as well, so I feel like it's almost everybody here has got one.
Amazing. I love that. But yeah, we have a Discord and we have all the social media, and we're everywhere as Fumble folks.
Awesome.
We roll a ridiculous amount of ones. I'm not even kidding. So many.
And last but certainly not least, one of the minds behind this wonderful adventure, Jared. Why don't you say hi to folks and let them know who you are and what you do if they haven't apparently been paying attention?
Yeah, I'm Jared Earl. I work for Nightfall Games and have done since 1991, 92. Anyway, we do Slay Industries normally. We've recently done the Terminator RPG, and we're doing Demon Dog, which is this Morkborg compatible, as you've just seen, fun game. You can go and look it up at demondog.info if you can't be bothered to read the actual link. Just type demondog.info into your browser and it'll point you at the right Kickstarter.
There'll be some links in chat for you folks.
Yeah, links in chat and
keep watching that for a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I've been doing games for a while. Ex Games Workshop, ex Wizards of the Coast, current Nightfall Games. I've been around a long time because I'm ancient, but still alive apparently.
So I have to ask though, did this do 8-Page Goose justice?
Oh yeah, of course it did. It did.
Amazing.
It was fun. Yeah, it was. Literally, we came up with the idea of doing this at Tabletop Expo, and you were there when it happened. So
I was. Yeah, I was.
I'm glad you were able to GM it for us, because I know I couldn't have been asked, but I was too knackered after having put the book together.
I'm very, very, very happy to, especially as 8-Page Goose is my first bit of work that I got to help.
It's your first credit on Nightfall, because we built the. For those who don't know, Virginia helped me out with the layout on the first day of building the book, and she did some nice textures and stuff, and gave me lots of good ideas and clean advice. So it was all good to have you on board. It's been fun.
Last but not least, I have been Virginia, or V. You can find me on Twitter at Tabletop Horde. I used to stream video games, but then I got really busy with work, so now I just occasionally ramble about things on there. But everything that I do, when I can post about it, because NDAs are a killer, all goes on there. I do too many things: graphic design, writing, editing, professional GMing, the whole shebang. My life is tabletop games. It's a problem, but a good one. If you liked what you saw tonight with Demon Dog, the Kickstarter is still going on right now. So please head over to the Kickstarter and go smash the button to back it. There are some really awesome, amazing things: alternate covers, leather covers, the dice tray as well, which looks really cool. I think that's up there. If you liked 8-Page Goose, this is a quick start. You can go right over to DriveThruRPG right now and pay whatever amount of money you want. You don't have to pay money, but I think you should, because it's awesome, and do that. And you can go and take this to your own tables and terrorize your players with a goose. I highly recommend 10 out of 10 that you should do that, because this was really fun. So please go check the Kickstarter out. If you're watching this back on the YouTube, you may have to check the date to see if the Kickstarter is still running or not. But if you are, thank you for joining us and getting all the way through to our rambly outros here at the end. Otherwise, I think this is all of us signing off for the night. Thank you for joining us and screaming a lot about geese in the chat with us. And hopefully we will see you for another game of something soon. Have a wonderful night, folks. Thank you.
Bye.